Finance meeting. I would like to welcome you all to come in, and you will have an opportunity to speak later on in the meeting, but this is the portion of the meeting when we decide what bills we're going to pay and how we're going to pay them. So once again, thank you all for coming. At this portion, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Chairman Rogers is here.
Alderman Smith, present.
Thank you.
Louis Williams, Controller, City of Harv, present.
Thank you. The meeting's been called to order. Would you all like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No, we just discussed the bills.
It's posted.
Yeah, it's posted on the window, but it's only one item. Okay. I was glad that they got the bills list out in a timely manner. I had an opportunity to review it over the weekend, and it pretty much is the same thing that it always is. But there was one question that I had. We go to refuge and dumping fees for Republic, and there's 4 consecutive bills for $3,306.24. Is this for one bill? Is this for?
No, those are actually credits. Those 3, just in parentheses.
Yes.
Yeah, those are credits against bills you've already been invoiced.
Oh, so they give you money back.
Yeah, well, not quite money back. The refuge rate went up this year about 15%.
Okay.
The bill itself went up 15%?
But the number of households went down as like their credits. Because their bill is based on the number of households they do pickups for. So the number of households went down, and they had not adjusted the 3 previous bills to account for that lower number of households.
Okay. Good. There was one other thing that kind of stuck out, and with the insurance under water fund, with CNA insurance, and there's one bill for $33,000 and one for $10,000. What type of insurance is this?
That's general liability for the water fund. General liability and property for the water fund.
Okay. That's not health insurance?
No.
Okay. That's under fund number 17, water fund.
I think the insurance
Yes.
for the 33 and 13.
Yes. And contractual service. Bryant King, $1,500. You know that?
The certified water operator.
Oh, he's certified.
He's the one who's responsible for the water testing and all the other things. You got to be a certified operator.
Okay,
You can operate.
gotcha.
What is the thing here?
Bryant King.
And what is the degree for water test?
He's a certified water operator.
And what do they do?
He's the one that's making sure the water is tested. He's a new person. I'm drawing the mic on the right person.
Okay, it's the water test.
Right.
Like over on Page Street at the pumping station,
Oh,
they get the water, and we get it from Chicago. And they test the water and make sure that it's drinkable and made. All right. Co-chair, Williams.
The refuse, back to the public, the document fees, there's four of them. Is that the same or is that a total?
I'm sorry, what?
The refuse and dump fees,
Public.
yeah, for the public, it's four items that say $3,000. Is that?
Those are the credits. Those are credits.
So it's four, so it is four credits.
It's 4 credits.
It's four credits.
Four credits. For the last 4 months. They on the bills.
Last. Walmart. It's a Calvert.
Pardon me?
Calvert.
What is he under?
General fund. Payroll advance.
Pardon me?
Payroll advance. It's under the general fund, the reimbursement vacation fund.
Oh, we had he's a prior employer, prior employee. Who he was doing some back vacation. And it was just processed through the general fund and then reported through the payroll service. It's showing the payroll advance.
Yes.
Yeah, so then what happens is, that's a net check, so it then gets processed through the payroll service.
The Aaron Rock for the toy collection fee, the police line tickets, is that the police talk?
What is this?
This is under police towing collection fee,
We're refunding somebody a collection fee.
refund. So, is this refund, why not parentheses around under that?
Pardon me?
My bad.
Maybe we
That
shouldn't
was my
talk.
bad.
We shouldn't talk.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay. That was it, that's all I had.
Mr. Williams, under fire department, and we have Davis Medical Transport, and we have Bud's Ambulance Service. Do we utilize these companies in an equal manner, or?
No, Daly's actually does the 911 dispatch. Since police is done through the county now, they don't do fire calls. So that's done through Daly's. The other Daly's fee is we contracted an ambulance service out probably 40 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the last time we had an ambulance.
So one does 911 and the other one
Right,
does
it's actually
like emergency calls and stuff like that. Okay.
And David, I'm doing the 911.
Yeah. The dispatch service.
Does that mean like a resident has called? So that's the
Pardon me?
that's whenever a resident calls 911.
It actually goes to
Okay.
it goes to fire, period.
Okay, goes to fire, goes to fire altogether. Okay.
Yes.
So why is the Buds again?
Buzz is
okay.
actual ambulance.
Okay, I see. And one is communication, I see.
One is right.
Yeah. One
Exactly.
is the dispatch, one is the actual, sure.
My understanding is that they post one ambulance up by Thornton High School, and the other ambulance is posted across town to, I guess, to expedite the pickup time.
Now you call my trains.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, one on each side of the tracks. Okay. We have a quorum. The chair's going to make a motion to accept the bills as studied and read. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None. So we're going to move on to the next portion of the meeting. And that would be public comment. So, ladies and gentlemen, if anybody has a public comment and you'd like to speak, please feel free to stand, state your name, and make your comment. Since we got plenty of time, I guess we could take as long as we like.
My name is George Galloway. I have a question. This says on the water, it says $298,223. Is that a monthly or is that a quarterly bill for the water bill? It says water.
Well, Mr. George, this isn't question and answer, but I will be willing to answer that. That's a monthly bill.
$298,000?
That's what we owe in back fees to the city of Chicago. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mike, go ahead.
Mr. Rudd, Michael Cronin, 6th Ward.
Yes, sir.
Question for you is that $3.7 million in allocated for the Broadway project, what comes next? And how much of that Broadway project, or how long will it take to do that Broadway project, and has it been scoped out yet?
Once again, Mr. Michael, this is not question and answer. Fortunately, I do have some of the answers. The $3.7 million that you're speaking in terms of was grant money. You know that? Okay. For number one, it didn't come out of our general fund. For number two, the engineering group, Arturo group, they would have the timelines and the datelines on how long this project is going to last. Unfortunately, none of that information has been given to the city council members as of yet. I'm almost certain that it will be, but as of right now, we haven't gotten any information into how long this project is going to take. And then, well, the other question, what's next? Well, I would imagine whatever we can get grant for, we're going to accept it. If we can receive grant money, we're going to get it. The city's in dire need of whatever resources that comes this way. And I, for one, I'm in favor of getting it as long as it's something that's going to be conducive to the quality of life for the people here in the city of Harv. Brother Kevin, good to see you, man.
Hey, good to hear you. I'm Kevin, 6th Ward, Kevin Oakley, 6th Ward. I want to get some information on how can, as a nonprofit leader, how can I bring revenue back to Harv, Illinois? I was interested in property, obtaining some of this abandoned property, but I'm not sure if it's habitable or not habitable. Is it redevelopmental, redevelopment of property and things like that? I was interested in bringing revenue to the city of Harvey. We opened a co-op in my neighborhood where I'm from, Inglewood.
Inglewood, yes.
And we opened a co-op, and I, as a disabled person, not having a pharmacy is kind of hard when you're not able to drive or get people to take you. So I was interested in a co-op. I was interested in utilizing individuals who are on, not house arrest, but community service, which I have working with me to do some of the cleaning from the streets, the sewer, manholes, and a lot of things that I want to try to implement. And I want to know what can I do to bring revenue to Harv, Illinois?
Once again, Kevin, this is not a question and answer. But fortunately, I do have an answer for it. First of all, I think it's an admirable quality that you want to bring new development and housing to the city of Harv. What I would suggest, and I tell everybody this, if you have a great idea if you have an organization or a non-for-profit or 501c3, or even if it's profitable, to submit in writing to the mayor's office and let them know in your letter what your intentions are. What type of facility you're going to need, how large, how many employees, how long would it stay open, what's the square footage. Once you submit that to the mayor's office, they'll review it and they'll bring it before the city council, and they'll give that individual an opportunity to come to the council meeting and do a presentation. That's where it'd be voted on, whether or not they want it or whether or not they don't. So that's the procedure on how you can get started if you want to generate revenue in the city. And call me if you got anything you want to talk about. You got my number.
Who that, Mr. Russell?
Yeah,
Hey, Mr. Russell.
we talk all the time.
We talk all the time.
Yeah.
I was just interested in some of the key, not some of the minor things, you know. And I have people in the relationship with people that can help out with these are minor things, sweeping, cleaning, street sweeping, things like that. And I want to try to implement some of that to the great city of Harville.
Wow. Ceramic. Well, later on in the meeting, I'm going to touch bases on what we've been doing as far as the cleaning and that kind of thing. So if you stick around, you'll have an opportunity to hear what's going to be said. We're going to keep my report extremely short. Ms. Clark, just a moment. That gentleman right there.
Our sister was next to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. She was. All right, ma'am.
And to ask you, Fifth Ward, well, first of all, Mr. Kevin, I wanted to answer your question. At the second ward committee meeting last week, Mr. Lewinsky stated that there was a moratorium on trying to get these type of properties. So I just want to give you that answer. I don't think it's present for that, but that's what she said.
Well, I get this.
But I'm just letting you know that that's what was communicated to the residents last week. Number two, as you said, it's not a question and answer. The bills list seems like it's for a 30-day period, and in the past, all the finance committee meetings last year when we were reviewing the bills list, it was quarterly. So I don't know if that means that every month there's going to be a finance committee meeting or instead of the natural cadence of every quarter. But I just wish again that there was an agenda printed and that was like explained, like moving forward, we will be reviewing and going over the bills list in the finance committee on a monthly basis versus the quarterly basis that we did all 2025. That's number one. Number two, we as residents need an update on when we declare financial distress. What does that mean from a state level? What does that mean from the Illinois State Comptroller's Office? Like, where are we in that process? Is there funding we're applying for? Has there been an update? Even if we did, it needs to be some sort of update to the residents. We had that big meeting in October, but we haven't heard anything since. And then number two, on the bills list, the last couple of ones, there was always W&W consultant. And when I looked it up, it was Mr. Lewis Williams' name. So I just want to be clear. Is Mr. Williams an employee or is he contracted? Because I'm just trying to understand. And I also want to make sure we're not double dipping as a city that if he's an employee and he gets paid his employee salary, fine. But if he's contracted, I just want to make sure that he can provide clarity or not, because he said it's kind of question and answer. Just want to make sure that there's no double dipping and we're not spending out unnecessary money. Because that's how we got in financial distress place in the first place, was kind of spending money that we probably could have heard would come back.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment and your question. And fortunately, I can answer some of those. You spoke in terms of an agenda. We always post the agenda 48 hours prior to the meeting on the door. And if you want further detail in regards to the actual bills list, that information can be found on the City of Harvey's website. And as far as Mr. Williams, he is not an employee. He is a contracted out vendor. So yeah, in WW Consulting, It's the name of his company. So no, it's not double dipping. And what was the other?
Update on near financial distress, what does that mean from
Oh, yeah,
the state
yeah.
level or county level, what happens?
Okay, well, that would be quite a meeting to go into all the details on how and why we became financially distressed. It occurred over a number of years, and actually the city of Harv is doing everything possibly within its power right now to try to pull us out of this hole. Unfortunately, local government is a slow process, and it entails when we have our financial yearly statement meeting, it'll give you a little more detail. Those numbers that you're asking for, I don't have them right offhand. I do know that when this administration took office in 2019, we were $164 million in the hole. And there were a lot of innovative resources done in order to keep all of the employees employed, working, as far as our police department and our fire department, our streets and sanitation, our water department. And for 5 years, from 19 up until 25, we didn't have to lay off anybody. But it just gets to a point when you're robbing Peter to pay Paul that no longer is that going to work. Keep in mind, we're no longer 164 million in debt. We're 130 million. So we've knocked down $34 million, okay? And I think that the city and its resources and what we've done should be commended for reducing the deficit in spite of the fact that this is a financially distressed city. I hope that may have answered that.
The 34 million that you said was reducing debt, was that because of the revenues coming into the city, or was that in the form of some form of bailout from the county or state level?
Actually, we haven't received anything. We applied for that at that meeting over at St. Mark's Church, and we're still waiting to hear from the state of Illinois. We don't know whether or not we're going to be able to receive that money or not. This was not a bailout. This just came from ingenuity and smart spending, and that's what reduced that deficit, $34 million. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Anybody else? Let me get this guy right here, and he been waiting. Okay. By all means.
Mr. Rogers and Mr. Finance Committee, I just want to suggest that I work for an organization a lot smaller, like $450,000 a year. We have like 4 separate accounts we deal with payroll, disbursement, stuff like that. And it's been whittled down what we operate for a year. So we've been able to balance our budget for over 20 years. But I think it's crucial that the residents should know how many different accounts are dealing with. Not every line and stuff. But just know what accounts are used and what's left on each account. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to make a comment about economic development. Everybody's not on social media, but a couple of weeks ago I asked everybody to email and write letters to the companies that you patronize to ask them to come to Harv. Every time I get something, I get in the car, go to Homewood or someplace else, I want to walk for community. This gentleman mentioned pharmacy. Now Walgreens has Walgreens and smart stores. There's one in March. Walgreens used to be right around the corner. So, especially for the cities and the people that use public transportation, if everybody could send an email or write a letter to a postcard and ask Walgreens, Foot Locker, Dollar General, Family Dollars, Sharp, those corporate headquarters to bring a brick and mortar right here on 154th, because when the Obama Presidential Center opened, everything up and down the train is going to make money. And so this is going to be an opportunity for our communities to have some type of
Actually, it's a great statement, and I think you're dead on point. But let me shed a little light. You mentioned Walgreens. As council members, I don't think that there's anybody that sits here that's not willing to bring a grocery store into a food desert or a pharmacy into a medicine desert. Unfortunately, Walgreens is notorious for this. They were on 159th Street. They get what they call a Class 8. And this Class 8 it's like a tax incentive. And the city of Harvey gives them free taxes for 10 years. Once that 10-year tenure has expired, you can apply again in Springfield for an additional 4 or 5 years. But you have to have a lobbyist. It's a lot of work that goes into it. So they would much rather move. When Walgreens left 159th, I'm sorry, not Walgreens, Aldi's. When Aldi's left 159th and Dixie, it wasn't 30 days later that they moved to Dixmoor, because Dixmoor gave them a brand new tax 8, Class 8A, okay, where they didn't have to pay taxes. So what these big stores do, these big companies, they go from one town to the next town, who's ever willing to give them that tax break. They'll stay. It's basically, but it's not the same as a TIF. But the 8A, they don't have to pay any taxes. With a TIF, they pay some taxes. So Aldi's is notorious for it. Walgreens, they go from city to city, and they had a real Walgreens in Markham, and that's when they started putting these pop-up express Walgreens. They serve the same purpose, but, you know, this may have shed some light on why we don't have a Walgreens. We'll do better probably trying to get a CVS over here, but then if they come to the city of Harvard, they're going to want that same 8A tax break, the same as Walgreens did. I hope that may have shed some light. Okay. Kevin, give me a minute. Anybody else got a statement? Anybody?
I'll go now.
Okay.
I'm actually in your ward also.
Wonderful.
You say illustrious, but I'm not going to hold it against you.
I don't say illustrious, I say great. Great 6.
From the illustrious, yeah, illustrious.
Great 6. Great 6.
What about that? I would pick back off of Walgreens thing. I'm with Jeremy, one of my fire brothers, he was a GM out here. And he said a little bit of the problems with the police department. That's the reason the Walgreens on 147 also did say. He said that was the primary reason. Yeah, tax indemnities are a part of it, but in Springfield, actually, when we fought, there's legislation that's now written in a few different bills to stop large conglomerate corporations that trade on the stock exchange from just moving from small town to small town, like pinball machine. They do that, and the structure is already pre-built to save money. So that's happening out here now. It has actually been passed. Part of the things passed those type of laws is the same people that vote on it have stock in these companies. That's becoming in your lobbies. 501c4s. I hold the 501c4. The problem is you go to Springfield and you mentioned Harvey. A lot of these come out about theft and mismanagement of funds. Also working with Aetna, the brother mentioned CVS, Aetna CVS. Aetna actually, CVS will come, but signatory things and other possible financial things are stopping them from doing it. Also, when you go to the mayor's office to start a business, it's a two-tedious process for what you get. The process needs to be short. The requirement is actually to look at somebody's business plan. Well, how would a person feel if they hold several different inventions and they come for a business plan and it's stagnating because the person you give it to don't understand what you're doing? Just because you're an elected official don't mean you're a businessman. It's not one and the same. That's my comment for now. I have one a little later.
Okay, fine. In regards, when you start talking about Walgreens, you remember when they had the George Floyd riots and people were looting and destroying our city?
Yeah.
Somebody took a can of spray paint and painted BLM, Black Lives Matter, on the side of Walgreens.
Nobody seen him actually paint it.
Nobody saw him do it, but somebody had to do it. Okay? All right, let me finish.
I'm just saying, I'm playing sure.
The G, when the big Walgreens were, they run across the top of the building, the G had failed. And I frequented Walgreens in Dalton, I frequented Walgreens in Poston, and these are all in proximity pretty close together.
Straight right.
When I would come to Harvey's Walgreens, the amount of sticky soda and pop and gum and paper and debris in front of our Walgreens was deplorable. You didn't see that in Dalton, and you didn't see it in Poston. I took it upon myself to hire my crew to come up there with their pressure washer and clean the front entrance. To clean that BLM off the side of the building and demanded management fix the G in Walgreens. I was fortunate enough to get everything done. But what happens, unfortunately, that mall that they have the new O'Reilly's and the laundromat and the Subway up there, that mall was renting to Walgreens for $38,000 a month. No business can substantiate itself or thrive or profit with a rent payment like that. And that was another reason. Once the 8A tax incentive ran out, they ran out. And that's the reason why they're not here.
That's not the absolute reason why they're not here. That's a partial reason why they're not here.
Well, I beg to differ. I have video.
His name's Jeremy.
I have video from the regional manager. And when they were doing the grand opening after the riots. But that's another story. We can talk, and I'll be more than happy to share my number with you.
Well, I email you never answer back.
What email did you use?
Same on the city's website.
Okay.
T. Rogers at
Okay.
the city of Harvey.
I try to answer them all, but maybe I didn't. I may have skipped one. I do answer every phone call. Every phone call. You'll never get a voicemail.
It's easy to email.
Yeah, it's easy for me to answer the phone. You know, I'm old school, so, you know, texting and email is fine. I use it, but I'd rather talk to you on the phone.
Why don't you read a report over the phone? About the financial report.
Well, you can email me that, but we just talk about correspondence, reaching out to one another, okay? You can call me and say, hey, Rogers, I'm finna email you. Okay, then I'm gonna check.
I call you email.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Sharice again.
Hey, Sharice.
I'm in the 6th Ward, and I just want to kind of follow up what this woman said right here about bringing more businesses and things. And like as you mentioned, like the Walgreens, garbage and stuff like that. And I was going to ask, I don't see anything in here for infrastructure. I don't know if that goes under, I don't know which one, but I know the streets of Harvey are very damaged. I just got a 2022 racing back because my car got stolen last summer. That's what
I'm sorry to hear that.
But, and that was a problem in Harvey as well. But, are they going to fix the streets? I can't see businesses and people wanting to come through. I thought about that too. They wanted to be able to do football, put over anything. I said, well, people are going to have to drive through here, you know, and so, yeah, I only see $8,000 for public works and I have something I was going to read during the formal part about, picking up stuff like that, picking up our ideas for people. So I just wanted to know how much money can go towards, more money can probably go towards public works, and infrastructure.
Yes, ma'am. Great question. And that's something that we can answer on a later basis because I don't have that exact number with me. How much money we did allocate for, what was it? $30 million, and that's supposed to be divvied up among all 6 of the wards.
You
So,
don't see they fix the streets even by the hospital now. Definitely needs to be fixed. Bumping up and down right now
Well,
at the hospital.
Now, if you were in the 6th Ward, and you say you're in the 6th Ward, I drive that 6th Ward all day, every day. And I do. And I got a new truck, and I ain't trying to tear it up. I got a motorcycle. I ain't trying to fall over in no hole. So I do recognize that these streets definitely need fixing. And I don't mean patching. I mean fixing.
I don't know if they can last another month.
Well,
And this way, what street you go?
we purchased a whole lot of asphalt recently. And the asphalt hasn't been put in the holes yet because we weren't certain whether or not we were going to continue to have cold weather and then warm weather and then cold weather. And the asphalt is constantly stretching and moving, so if we put it down too soon, then it's just going to come back out. Young lady, you don't look like you're 52 years old. But I've been living on Harvey Avenue for 52 years, okay? And for 52 years, I've never seen my street, 146th Street, resurfaced. I've seen it patched thousands of times, but I've never seen it resurfaced. There's nothing I would like more than for them to come in with one of them big machines and scrape all this old stuff off
So
and
you
put
say you have it, but if you hire somebody to go do what they're doing, then they should know what to put it down. I know this is in the city, whatever, but when they had the Jack Robinson League, they, one over there, I know somebody stayed on the street, 107%, did that street one day.
Yes, ma'am.
When you know what you're doing, you can get the job done, just like that.
Yeah, you got plenty of people know what they're doing. You got to have the money to pay them.
Right, yeah.
You got to have the resources to pay them. You know, and we got police officers and firemen, which are priority. You know, and these people, you know, you got to have them. You know, I'd rather have a fire truck if I call 911 to come put this fire out.
So
than
there's
to
too
me.
much resources going for the police department, because they definitely need it, but we can't make up for anything else, because maybe citizens in Harvey don't make enough, and we didn't come in enough to pay into stuff, and that's why other people are taxing more.
No, that doesn't hold true. That doesn't hold true. As a matter of fact, we are, thanks to Mr. Williams, we've been fortunate enough to bring some of the police officers back and some streets and sanitations back. Not everybody, but we're working toward the betterment of the citizens. Okay, we're not a city with a whole lot of money. This ain't Orland, this ain't Oak Forest or Tinley Park.
So many abandoned houses, so you wouldn't have to pay taxes to those.
Ma'am, that's a whole nother story, why there's so many abandoned houses.
That's what the gentleman was saying right here about building a Harvey, so
Yeah.
we get those houses for them, maybe they could.
Well, I don't know if you've been coming to the council meeting, but okay, well, I'll share with you some of the past meetings and what we decided. There's a South Suburban Land Bank that we hired to identify who owns some of these abandoned properties. City of Harvey doesn't own them all. Some of them have been abandoned by the owners, some have been foreclosed by the bank, some are under investigation for arson, the ones that have been burnt up. So there's multiple people that own these houses. So me, for one, if it's a hazard to children going to school, walking down that sidewalk, and somebody jumps out one of these abandoned properties, I strongly suggest that we tear it down and get rid of it and create a safer environment for our community. What we do for the residents here. I don't get no acclimates or anything like that. The reason I've been successful in this office is because people know that I care. And that's the only reason. And I won't lie to you. I'd much rather tell you the truth. It makes me feel better. Okay. Yes, sir.
Cameras and then you do infrastructure.
Big pardon?
You guys put cameras up with no infrastructure, so you can't drive down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what was that all about? I'm quite sure you had something to do with the decision, whether a small, partial, or somewhat. I mean, you're the chairman of the committee, right? Finance committee, your chair.
I'm chairman of the finance committee. And yes, sir. First of all, the cameras that you're speaking of, they're shot detectors and license plate readers. And this was given by the United States federal government. This was all grant money. The city of Harvey didn't spend a dime. When you talk about infrastructure, you're talking about money that comes from the general fund that we have to spend. Okay, so we're talking about two separate entities. Okay, one was given and one has to come out of our own cooking jar. Okay, so that pretty much. You got another question? Go ahead, man.
To be clear, I have hope for our next generation.
Me and you both.
Okay, so that's why I'm here. So, are you saying that I shouldn't reach out to businesses, major
No.
corporations? Okay,
No.
I just want to be clear.
No, I'm not saying that at all, under no circumstances. Please, reach out. You may be more fortunate than this administration is as far as getting somebody to want to come into our community. And first of all, we have to make it attractive for people to want to move here. Okay, we have to, pardon?
We spend money. We are consumers. We are the best and the greatest. When I worked at Pearsall, Illinois, marketing department, they always told us when they wanted to try a product or service, they would always put us outside and say, we bought it, it was a winner. And so if we, instead of taking our money, because I just thought about taking that in at $7 plus tax, and you around Halsey and you make them all get more now they don't want to own tax. Where I, especially at my age, would love to have like to look and do the children walk with me in the future. Right around the corner.
Oh, do I
You
remember?
buy to 154. Buy a house in Harv, solely furnished in Harv, a brand new car right on 154.
That's right. I remember it well.
Custom made dress, wedding cake, whatever you wanted, was walkable. And it happened again.
Yeah. You know what?
Atlanta.
And I often say, you know what? I'm going to strive diligently to bring Harvey back to the vibrancy that it once had. And it may not occur in my lifetime because I got more days behind me than I do in front of me. But it will not stop me from working hard on behalf and making the right decisions. And I served 16 years on the Board of Education. Some of those years were school board president. And the point I'm making is that I always based every vote that I had was on the betterment of the education of the children. And that's how I would base all my votes. And then once I became a council member, that ideology changed. I based all my votes on what would be in the betterment of the adults. And that holds true right to this day, and it hasn't changed. And I'm going to continue. And thank you for your statement. Yes, ma'am.
Because I've been hearing the conversation kind of intertwined between finance and economic development, and the co-chair, Alderman Smith, is the chair of the economic development committee. She hasn't spoken to me yet, but I'm assuming she will speak in this meeting about when's the next economic development committee meeting to address some of the concerns Ms. Clark and others have.
First, I totally agree with you and your statement, but this is a finance meeting. We're not talking economic development. If you have a question you'd like to direct to my colleague, Alderwoman Delaney, I suggest strongly that maybe you might want to get up at public comment and ask her that question during that period. Or, you have another option, you could just meet with her. She's totally approachable and friendly, and she'll be more than happy to let you know about her meeting.
Thank you.
But can I ask a question? I've been waiting for about 10 minutes, and it's almost time to start the city council meeting. Sorry, not to be rude. I know you guys can't see my hand.
Excuse me, sir, you've already asked one. Let this young man answer the question.
So I got a suggestion from you guys in finance today. To bring back our essential workers if we do not have adequate fire and police staffing in the city park. I would suggest maybe giving up some of your salaries. That is an idea in order to bring back our essential workers. I can truly hear the fire trucks riding by my house with all those fires that we're still not told about. So that's just a real practical idea. Why don't you take a cut in your salaries if you say you love parking so much and rehire some of our essential workers. My other concerns are just in general. We come here every finance committee meeting, no question, right? No question, right? You even went out to talk before, like we almost did today, so that I can ask questions. So why are we doing this BS? You get paid. You get paid no no matter what you do. And I had 4 or 6 ward residents coming to me, Mr. Rogers, constantly complaining, saying the ward looks like crap and he was including it. But you still have paid, and we pay your salary, and we don't even have firefighters or police. This is not okay. It is not acceptable. My other concern is nepotism. You should be speaking out against, you should be speaking out. Your wife is now the clerk. How is that not a conflict of interest? She's going to be overseeing the election for Army next year, including the election for your seat. How is that not nepotism? How is that not a conflict of interest? Anything that you guys are talking about money is not backed up by paper. So, are you going to at some point show us where the money is? We don't know anything that you're saying is actually true. So those are a few of the concerns that I have. Oh, and then people were talking about how we were on the school board, but you failed to mention that we had to pay $400,000 because you were sued because the superintendent asked for a forensic audit. Instead, the superintendent called her and he threatened to give her an ass whooping, quote unquote. So I think the residents should know that, Mr. Rogers. But basically, nothing ever seems to get done here. That's my main concern. And we don't get over our money as well. But you certainly do have paid, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you, young man, for your comment.
No.
Once again, thank everybody for coming out. I greatly appreciate it.
Meeting adjourned.
So nice to see all the friendly faces.
Meeting adjourned.
And we're going to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? None? Once again, you all have a 5-minute break before the next meeting starts. Thank you all, once again.